Tantrayana in Bali. Tantrayana originates from the conception goddess, Mother Goods, whose evidence is found in the Sidhu Valley. From the goddess conception emerged Saktiism, which is a teaching that specializes in worshipping Sakti, namely the power of gods, especially the worship of goddess Durga. The group of Sakti worshippers is called Sakta. The further development of Saktiism gave rise to Tantrism. That faction worships Sakti to the extreme and they are called Tantrayana. Tantra comes from the word tan, which means to expose, to describe the power of Sakti. From this Tantrism came a word in Bhairava which means Iwat. The Bhairava understanding specifically worships the greatness of the Sakti, in a specific way. They carry out the 5 mega-amperes Bharata, namely, Mamsa, Matsya, Madhya, Maituna and Mudra. Prior to the arrival of other religions in Bali, read. Indonesia already had cultural elements of high value which in its popular language were called local genius, as well as having a spiritual realm in the form of high-value religions. This realm of thought is called the local mindset that existed before the arrival of Hindu influence in Bali. After the arrival of the influence of Indian Hinduism in Bali in social, cultural and religious forms, there was an acculturation of culture and syncretism of belief between the local mindset in Bali and Hindu influence which subsequently proceeded in such a way and emerged the social, cultural and religious order of Hinduism in Bali. In other words, that the current social, cultural and religious order of Hinduism is the coverage of the Balinese Hindu substance, Hinduism which is based in the local mindset in Bali. 1. The occurrence of a harmonious relationship between the local mindset and the Hindu mindset in Bali is caused by 2 things, namely, the local mindset is willing to selectively accept the Hindu mindset and adapt it to the local mindset that lives in Bali. 2. The Hindu mindset that enters Bali is not rigid, but adapts itself to the situation and condition of the local mindset in Bali. This is due to the existence of concepts, village, Kala, Patra and Kalisulta, Madhya, which are predominant in the Hindu world of thought. Starting from this analysis, not all Hindu Indian influences are completely absorbed in Bali, but rather are taken and selected according to the local mindset in Bali. Read. Indonesia Katarweda, Manawadharmasastra, Nawadarsana, sect teachings, social system, art culture, ceremonies and others. From this it can be seen that in many ways Hindu religious life in India is different from Hinduism in Bali. Hindu society in India consists of several ethnicities and tribes such as Dravidian, Aryan, Naga, Sikh and others. Sikh religion is a mixture of Hinduism with Islam, each of which shows its own character. There are villages such as villages in Bali called Grama. Social, cultural and Hindu religion in India. Religion in India is sectarian. There are 3 sects that stand out, namely, Saiva, Vaishnava and Tantrayana, as well as the existence of many other sects. There is also worship of Brahma, but the situation is not like worship of Shiva, Vishnu and Durga. The worship of Trimurti there is carried out horizontally and each god is worshipped separately by its respective devotees. Besides that, there are many ashrams that teach their own spiritual education systems with their own patterns of orientation and direction. Theism or the conception of Godhead in India seems to blur between the worship of gods and goddesses with the worship of holy individuals such as Rama, Krishna, Hanuman and others. There is also confusion between the personnel and the impersonal in the imaginations of the manifestations of gods and goddesses. Likewise, the characterization of a holy teacher is very important in the hearts of his followers. It is this holy guru who plays a very big role in spiritual life in India, such as Swami Vivekananda, for example. The role of the government in the religious sector is not that big, because India is a secular country. Religious activities feature prayers and praises in the form of hymns rather than ceremonial rituals. Religious infrastructure is seen in the form of mandirs and deities, while the worship facilities used are flowers, water and fire. The use of flowers and water in worship is derived from the Aryan culture, while the use of fire is derived from the Dravidian culture. One thing that attracts attention is that in every holy place there is an Aka image, which is the focus of worship concentration. Conceptually, it seems that the abstract or impersonal personification of God is very dominant in his imagination. An unbalanced life. People in India put more emphasis on their life orientation to voidness and put aside scale or worldly values. Most of their daily lives are confiscated for contemplating and praying and praising the spiritual figures they worship. Therefore, it seems that they are not eager to improve the quality of their worldly life. There it was difficult to distinguish between the Sannyasin people and the beggars who were very much around the holy places. In addition, the nature of culturing cows is very excessive in India. The dark period of Hindus in India. Indologists deceive the world view of Hinduism. The writings of Max Muller were supported by colleagues William Jones and Herbeth Hope Risley. Dr. William Jones, a radical political thinker, married the eldest daughter of Dr. Jonathan Shipley, Bishop of Landraff and Bishop of St. Asaph. Served as judge in Calcutta, also concurrently head of the Asiatic Society of Bengal, also secretly as a missionary. In a large meeting on behalf of the British government, William Jones was furious at the missionaries because he thought they were unable to convert Hindus to Christians. William Jones said, "You missionaries are too stupid. No matter what your efforts, both Protestant and Catholic sending missionaries will not be able to convert Hindus, because they have a very strong belief in their holy books. The only way is that Hindus want to convert. To be a Christian is to confuse the contents of their holy book. Position their book lower than the Bible and raise the Bible as high as possible. The True History and the Religion of India, in Ikatut Donder. Media Hindu edition 92, October 2011, page 44-45. There are two secret plans that William Jones carefully devised as representative of British colonialists in Calcutta. The plans include misleading the meaning of the Vedic scriptures including Indian history, applying the racist theory, caste, with the intention of dividing Indian society. Both plans are executed simultaneously. William Jones was the first to propose racial, caste divisions in India involving Max Muller's Aryan invasion theory. The proposal for a division of the caste in India was supported by Herbeth Hope Risley, the British administrator of India. In 1901, Herbeth Hope Risley, the British administrator in India, passed the racist caste theory of Max Muller and William Jones into a colonial law which was enforced throughout the Indian subcontinent. Thomas Troutman referred to Risley's publications entitled Study of Ethnology in India, 1891, as the racial theory of Indian civilization. Troutman considers H.H. Risley and Max Muller as architects of casteism in India. www.wikipedia.org, Herbeth Hope Risley, the results of the efforts and strategies of Christian missionaries under the guise of Indologic scientists have had a negative impact on Hinduism throughout the world until now. Previously, the concept of rigid caste was not found in Indian society, neither in the Mahabharata nor after. There is some historical evidence that a rigid caste never existed in Indian Hindu society from the Mahabharata age, 3500 BC, to the Gupta dynasty in the 6th century AD. 1. King Sentanu married Setiawati, daughter of a fisherman. 2. Bambang Ekalaya, the common people became Kshatriya. 3. Raidaya, the chariot driver's son became Duke Kshatriya. 4. Krishna, black skin color, cowherd boy also called Krishna. 5. Govinda, Gopala equals cowherd boy, can become a king Kshatriya. 6. Narada Muni, the son of a housemaid, Babu, can become a Brahmin. 7. Maharshi Vyasa, in Java called Bhagawan Abhiyoso, black skin, wide nose, thick lips, bulging eyes, his mother is a boatman fisherman. Hindus consider it Nabi, because it was he who codified the Vedas. Maharshi Vyasa is also known as Krishna Dwaipayana, because he is black, not an Aryan race, and can become a Brahmin. 8. Kavish Ailush was born to commoners, could be a Brahmin. Kavish Ailush was instrumental in writing the Vedic mantras of the Rig Veda Mandala 10. 9. The son of Jabalas, Satyakama, born to an unknown father, could become a Brahmana, RSI, because he was diligent in studying Vedic mantras. 10. Matanga from the lower class can become RSI, Bridge Amana, because of their quality. 11. Maharshi Valmiki, author of the epic Ramayana. Before becoming a Maharshi, Brahmana, was a thief and robber. His father was Sumali, a commoner, not Kshatriya or Brahmana. Valmiki's birth name is Ratnakara. After robbing Narada Muni, there was a conversation between Valmiki and Narada. Valmiki finally realized, and began to learn religion and eventually became Maharshi. 12. Thiruvalluvar, son of a tailor, weaver, thanks to his perseverance in studying he became a Brahmin. Thiruvalluvar, the author of Thirukkural in South India. 13. Dewi Subhadra, in Java called Rora Orang because of her black skin, obviously not the Arya race because of her black skin, married to Arjuna who has pale, white skin. 14. Prahlada, the son of a giant Hiranyakasipu, could become a Brahmin. Historical evidence of caste does not exist in Indonesia, including the following. 1. Ken Erik, a thief Brahmokora in the forests of East Java, from a family that was neither Ksatria nor Brahmin, and finally realized and learned from Mpu Purwanatha, Ken Dede's father, in Tumapel, could become a king Ksatria in Singosari. 2. Damar Wulan, a horse breeder, grass sickle worker, could become a king Ksatria in Majapahit and changed his name to Brajaya. 3. Kibo Iwa, a soil digger and well worker in Bali, thanks to his courage, he could become a Pata Ksatria in Bali during the reign of King Ratnabumi Banten. 4. Erlangga, a king in Kahuripan East Java, after retiring, chose to become a Brahmana with the title Rsi Jatayu. 5. Mpu Sendok, a Brahmana, his children became Ksatria in Medang Kemulan. 6. Mahapati Gajamata, Prime Minister of Majapahit, born to an unknown family, which is clearly not of Ksatria or Brahmin descent, has become Indonesia's leading Ksatria throughout Indonesian history. 7. Ketut Kresna Kepakizan, the son of a Brahmana from East Java, became a Duke Ksatria in Samprangan Bali with the title Sri Kresna Kepakizan. 8. Pata Yuling, who dropped the residence of Pasek Gelgal and Pasek Bendesa in Bali. The son of Mpu Dwijaksara, Brahmana, could become a Pata Ksatria during the transition in Bali after Raja Ratna Bumi Banten was defeated by Majapahit. 9. Mpu Dwijaksara, Brahmana, the father of Pata Yuling, could become Ksatria, that is, to become the king of Bali, before Kresna Kepakizan was appointed in a limited manner. In Indonesia, casteism began to spread after the collapse of the Majapahit kingdom in 1478 AD, almost close to the fall of the Goa India kingdom by the Portuguese in 1511, as well as the era of the spread of Christian concepts, Christianization, throughout the world marked by colonialization and slavery. Caste in Indonesia, Bali. Caste came into existence in Indonesia after the fall of Majapahit. At the end of the Majapahit period, especially the early 15th century, casteism began to spread. Many Hindu Ksatria scholars and Brahmins began to be influenced by the propaganda of Christian missionaries and other Adharma people. They forget their self-help as Ksatria and Brahmana, seduced by the treasure of power and women. King of Majapahit Brajaya V, who was very old, was tempted by a woman as a gift from the guardians. Women whose origins are unclear always persuade Brajaya V to leave the ancestral religion of Majapahit and follow his wife's religion. Geoffrey Robinson commented on this as the most astonishing engineering of Balinese traditions by the Dutch colonialists, Geoffrey Robinson. The Dark Side of the Island of the Gods, 2005 p. 51. The Religion Book, Adagama, Purwa religion and Kutara religion, when applied by the kings in Java, never applied castes, because not a single word in the Hindu law book nor the Veda books contained the word caste. Caste is unknown and is a foreign word for Hindus, let alone making the prisoners slaves. V.E. Korn stated that, before the implementation of the Dutch colonialist government in Bali, many non-caste people held positions in political authority such as retainer, Setahan, Pembekal and so on compared to afterwards. The European Dutch government was so convinced to the idea that the three highest castes formed the most important foundation of Balinese society, that almost members of these castes were appointed to high positions. Citing several examples, Korn said that in Buleleng, North Bali, before the casteism rule was implemented, 16 out of 26 Punggawas were not from the three high castes. In fact, many groups outside the three castes held high positions, for example as tax officials and judges in the pre-colonial period. V.E. Korn. Het Datrekt van Bali, 1932 In the Dark Side of the Island of the Gods by Geoffrey Y. Robinson, 2005. WAISNAWA section. The Brahmin sect is a devotee of the fire god, Lord Agni. According to Hindu belief, the god of fire is identical with Lord Brahma because of the development of theological understanding of the god Agni, who in the Vedic era turned into Lord Brahma in the Upanishad era, as well as Lord Varuna to become Lord Vishnu and some other god reshuffles. According to Dr. R. Goris has completely melted with Shiva Siddhanta. In India the Brahmin sect is called Smarta, but the name Smarta is unknown in Bali. The Sasana, Adagama, Purwadigama, Kutara, Manawa books derived from Manawa Dharmasastra are products of the Brahmana sect. Many of the Brahmana sect followers offer their devotional forms through ceremonies which are mostly dominated by the use of fire facilities. One of the most popular rituals of this sect is Agnihotra, Homa Yajna. The noble legacy of the Brahmana sect in its Panka Yad, we can clearly see until now, is the use of fire when performing religious rituals. The use of fire in Hindu religious rituals can be in the form of incense, dipa and fire. This receipt on the island of Java was a group of hermits who lived in the forest. They are a wise and holy group. In Bali there are no known hermitage places like in Java, so the existence of the RSI is unclear. The rishis in Java carry out asceticism or contemplation in the manner depicted in Borobudur. The form of the position of people sitting cross-legged is a form of spiritual contemplation procession native to the archipelago. This appears in Borobudur, from Siddhartha Gautama. It was the original teachings of the archipelago that until the land of India developed into Hinduism and then Resi Siddhartha Gautama developed them into Buddhism. Regarding the RSI sect in Bali, Goris gave a brief description by pointing to the fact that in Bali, RSI was a Dwajati who was not from the Brahmana Wangsa class. The term Dewarsi or Rajarsi in Hindus is a holy person, Harinda, among the kings of the Kshatriya clan. However, this Rishi Pedanda may only give holy water to family groups. Suhardana. 2008-114. The worship of Lord Surya as the main god by the Saura sect, is one proof that the Saura sect exists. The system of worshipping the sun god called Suryasavana, performed at sunrise and sunset, is a characteristic of the Saura sect's adherents. We already know that the Atlantis civilization is worshipping the sun. This proves that the source or center of Atlantis is in the archipelago. This can be seen from the teachings that regulate the rituals of the sun so regularly, the procedures and processions, which indicate this ritual or sacred ritual. The Lontar library that spans Suryasavana is also available today in Bali. Apart from that, what is more obvious is that every religious ceremony in Bali is always worshipped by Lord Surya as a god who testifies that someone has done his yaj.